Hello everyone and welcome back to Timberborn. This is episode 16 of the Badlands Plains series. In the last episode we continued to expand the aqueduct. As you can see, we have a few tiers that we've been setting up. Unfortunately, we're running a little bit low on dynamite and extract in the last episode, so it was taking a little bit longer to construct some of the dynamite over here. We're also in the process of expanding this water hole that we're going to be using for the Charlie City. We'll move some of these water pumps over here coming up hopefully in this episode. But before I hit play, I completely forgot to get ready for the bad tide. So what I need to do is lower this, and we want to actually get rid of as much water in here as possible, and then raise this up. So we go ahead and start. You can see that we have a bad tide approaching in 0.2 days. Thankfully, we have this spillway to divert the bad water. And so right now we're going to try and avoid as much of the water right here. Thankfully we have a little bit of time before the bad water comes. We did set up a few more explosives factories. We have one here in Bravo City, as well as another one here in Alpha City, plus a couple more centrifuges. These will be making extract from the bad water. And we also expanded our bad water pumping capacity. So now we have 6 bad water pumps, plus we have 3 bad water storages. And during the bad tide, which is going to happen in just a minute, that will allow us to pump and store even more bad water. And you can see the bad tide has started, although we are flooding a little bit. Doesn't look like this spillway can handle quite as much water, so there's a little bit of flooding. Maybe slowing it down a little bit will help. The bad water is slowly making its way over here. I'm hoping that this won't be too big of an issue. And the beavers are almost done completing this bad water pump and the bad water storage tank for Bravo City. And right now this beaver is pumping and he is making no progress because there isn't any bad water yet. But you can see that now it's starting to mix in, and so we'll get to see he is slowly going up in efficiency. And you can see it is slowly creeping up. I'm not loving that, but I think at this point it's kind of out of our hands. There's not a whole lot we can do. I played around with the floodgates a little bit, but I really do think that it's just we're trying to neck the water down a little bit too much. If you guys could take a moment and go ahead and smash that like button and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, that would be fantastic. And if you want to support the channel even more, consider becoming a channel member. And we also have an exciting announcement. There is going to be a mega build series coming up very shortly. So we will have episodes similar to these, where I am going through and showing you guys how I make the mega builds. And then at the end of the season there will be another mega build that will be released. And if you become a channel member, you will have early access to these videos. So I'm very much looking forward to that. It's been quite a while since I've done a mega build, almost a full year. So you can see all these beavers are sitting around even though we have a bunch of explosives. But it does look like they've already placed the explosives part, so it's really just extract that we're waiting on. And then same goes for all these over here. But as soon as we place some more explosives, you can see that the beavers are immediately bringing the explosives part over here. And I think there's a piece of extract in there also. We are up to 16 unemployed bots. That's a new record. Let's throw in a few hauling posts. And we gotta set all of these to bots and low priority. So far it seems like the flooding hasn't persisted. So we have just the perfect height for the bad water to not spill over. This might just be as much bad water as this whole system can handle. But we do have the bad water pump working. You can see they are filling up a little bit. And then we also have the explosives factory working now. We can also start setting up a mine in this district. It takes a lot of wood, gears, and treated planks. But this will give the beavers something to do because right now they're all sitting around. And one good thing about ramping up explosives production is that the efficient scrap metal recipe involves using dynamite, so we'll have plenty of that. But we can set all of this to lower priority because we're going to be making some more stuff, and this can just kind of be a background task. So we just built these storages and they are popping up like crazy. I'd really just placed them down, but the beavers were getting to work on building these immediately. And so we drastically increased the amount of wood that we can store. Now we can store over 1,200 wood just in this district alone. And since we have some unemployed beavers, we might as well expand how many lumberjacks we have. We can also look at getting a little bit of production underway. And we continue to explode the dynamite. So we're about halfway through the bad tide, but it does look like that the bad water did recede a little bit. And over here the bad water elevation is a little bit lower. So let's try lowering that. Now I'm hoping that lowering this doesn't mess everything up. Does look like the beavers of Bravo City have finished placing all the dynamite except for a few pieces right here. And then we'll need to get rid of this and also place 3 more down. Oh, and you can see the beavers of Alpha City are actually coming here to construct all this. Yeah, Bravo City, they might not actually be able to reach this. Yeah, they can only reach right around to here, which I guess is in range. So we aren't really filling these 2 storages up. So we might as well place a few more bad water pumps. We'll go ahead and switch all of these to bots because we made a bunch of hauling posts and we can just straight up pause them. Looks like we are going up in extract. We're up to about 230 right now. Oh yeah, and I placed a 4th centrifuge. Does look like we have maxed out the pine resin, but we don't actually have any storage for it. Ooh, we haven't done anything with coffee. We could get some coffee beans planted over here. We have a lot of room to plant everything. Oh, I just realized that even though we are going up in extract, I added some storage, which means that it probably affected the distribution limits a little bit. Yeah, so now the threshold, it's still at 35 from Alpha City, but we can hold a lot more. So we need to reduce that down to 10% now. So now we'll be getting a lot of extract coming over across the border. Oh, we got the production going, but we're missing a hauling post in this district. Well, let's solve that. We'll get this one constructed first. Although we are missing some beavers in this district. We have 6 unemployed. I'm guessing they're in Alpha City. And they are, so let's migrate. How about 10 of them? Yeah, let's do 10. And we only have 0.9 days left in the drought. You can see we've actually been going through quite a bit of water. I did turn on this mechanical water pump and this one over here, so it's slowly filling up the aqueduct a little bit. And we have all the dynamite here, so let's go ahead and detonate that. And the bad tide is officially over. We still have to wait for the bad water to clear out, but you can see the water is coming back. And as soon as it pushes the rest of it, then we can start filling up this reservoir. And it needs it. I have not seen it get this low before. But we are also pumping with 10 water pumpers, plus we have a mechanical water pump pumping. So we started setting up some of the food production in Charlie City, but we will need some more crops, including the canola. This one seems to be pretty important for these beavers. That's also going to mean getting some storage set up, and we have some perfect spots for them. Although we actually have quite a bit of storage set up below where we can store most of these foods. But there's no harm in adding some more storage. Looks like the water has completely cleared out, so we can go ahead and lower this one and then start raising these up. Awesome, it looks like the beavers finished placing all the extract and dynamite over here. And since we have this floodgate up, let's go ahead and detonate these. Oh, my computer didn't like that. And then I think we're going to keep going a little bit more. We'll probably turn when we get right around here-ish. So we have 12 jobs that are vacant, plus we have some homeless beavers, and that is no bueno. Now as long as we prioritize these, they should start working on that pretty quickly. We have all of this, and we can make most of it lower. So we do have an injured beaver. We should probably look at some well-being stuff, including the medical beds. We'll set up a few of those right there. Oh yeah, we did add like a million jobs over here. We can probably reduce some of these, or just pause them all together. I don't really know how he got canola seeds. Maybe they're importing them, but we just planted all of these. There's no, like, they haven't grown up yet. And we do have an unemployed beaver here. So let's go ahead and migrate a few of those over to Charlie City. And we are running a little bit low on wood, even though we have a bunch of it over here. We can probably pause. Let's pause one of these builders and then get a couple more lumberjack flags set up, because there's no use having builders if they don't have any materials to use. We should also set up a few showers over here. And after almost 4 days, you can see that the reservoir is getting pretty close to filling up. I did lower this one just to get a little bit of water flowing into here. And we can start unpausing these water pumps. So we kind of built basically everything except for the aqueduct in this episode. We got a little sidetracked, but now we have the beavers of Charlie City being able to act a little bit more independently. They actually have showers now. Since most of the workers are doing nothing in Alpha City, we should work on the monument place. I haven't touched this in a few episodes, but we have plenty of science. We have 20,000, and that is more than enough to get this set up. But now I want to make it pretty. So we'll have this as the first part of getting all these monuments set up. It's going to take quite a bit of resources, but I think they have enough in this district. And if they don't, they are sure to be producing it. We're also going to get this motivatorium set up. We have some connections here that we can power it. And then we're going to put the engines in last because we need to be able to get up here to make these little roofs. And so then we'll get rid of the staircases after they make those. And we're going to see the well-being of these beavers skyrocket as soon as they complete some of this. And let's get a few more water pumps set up. We are doing okay on water. Okay, a little bit better than okay. We have 1,000 out of 1,500. But we did make this entirely so that we could pump water and use it when needed. So this will be our little bit of backup for water pumping capacity. Ooh, I do see that we are running a bit low in terms of our power over here in Alpha City. And that probably has everything to do with these water wheels not actually being as efficient, because we are definitely diverting some of the water coming through here to be going over in this direction. Thankfully I have, oh, I thought that was a 4-way power shaft, but it doesn't look like it. If we get rid of this and then replace it with this and high prioritize it, then we can get another power shaft set up over here. Then as soon as we get rid of the staircase, we can place an engine right here, and then maybe we'll place another one somewhere over here as well. It's great to see that the beavers are actually making some good progress on the levees on the side of the aqueduct, and they're able to utilize some of the wood that these beavers are chopping down. But there was a lot to do in this district. They did spend a decent amount of time setting all this up, and then also continuing to expand this massive hole, plus setting up basically everything else here, minus a few of these things. And you can see we have another bad tide approaching in 2.7 days. These beavers cannot get a break, but we will get to utilize some of these new bad water pumps that we made, and that'll help these guys produce some more dynamite, because it looks like they actually aren't getting any right now. And that is because we have the export threshold set to 100 for Alpha City. We'll set that down to 50 because they have a lot of bad water stored up now. They are making some good progress. Oh, I low prioritized it. Well, we have to get rid of a few of these, I guess. It looks like these beavers actually have a lot of extract now. Almost up to 300 extract in this district. So they should be making some good progress here coming up quickly. So we just extended. The aqueduct is going to be going over here. And we're pretty dang close to having it tie back in. We will need to put some dynamite over here and blow up some of the dirt. But as soon as we get that done, plus putting these levees in, we'll be nearly there. Although I'm not going to make the same mistake again. This time I'm actually going to start lowering the water levels back here a little bit earlier. And it looks like we are actually flooding here. Is this? So this is, they're probably not pumping anymore. It looks like they stopped pumping, so we'll pause that. Oh, we do have this set to 3. Let's lower that. But before we click play, let's go ahead and pause these two. Now we can watch the shockwave roll backwards. So these guys are completely maxed out on water. We can probably pause at least a couple of these water pumps. Move some of them over into the builders' huts. And you can see that we finished this section. So we'll get a couple levees placed down and go ahead and detonate these. The water level's fluctuating a little bit, but I think we'll be good. It has dropped a substantial amount, and you can see the bad tide is gonna happen any second now. This is a 9-day bad tide, a little bit longer than the last one, but these viewers are ready. Although we have 19 vacant jobs, we can go ahead and start pausing these builders' huts. Most of them are sitting around, but now we can get them put into these deep bad water pumps. And while we're at it, we might as well expand the levees over here so that we can get rid of some of these ones and prevent this from flooding in the future. Oh, I forgot to pause these water pumps over here. On the bright side, it looks like they did have a bunch of bots who were sitting around, so we're maxed out on water. We should probably fill that area up a little bit more. We should also look at getting a few more breeding pods set up here, and we'll just stick with some of the basics, but we do need to bump them up on the priority list. They are still a little low on wood in this district, but they have plenty of beavers to chop these trees down. Although I realize that none of this is marked, so they haven't been using any of these trees. Okay, well now that should hopefully help them increase the amount of wood they have. If I set these couple staircases up, we will stop losing a bit of time with the beavers having to go there and then cut back. Yeah, I think having these trees marked to get cut down has been helping a lot. We have basically doubled how much wood we have in this district. Looks like we are starting to get some unemployed beavers in this district, so you know what that means. More food here, and also more builders' huts. Uh-oh, looks like this beaver stranded himself. Oh, he's not doing too hot. We'll get rid of that for now, and then he should be able to run away. There we go. This will just leave that open for now. Ooh, we have some coffee beans that are starting to get harvested. Looks like we have a bunch stored up. I don't know if we actually made a coffee brewery. Let's get that unlocked and placed right here. We will need to add another worker in this power wheel, but we should be in a good spot then. And with that, we're going to wrap up today's episode. We've made excellent progress on the aqueduct and also expanding Charlie City's independence. And we finally got to see a bad tide, but it looks like there was a bit of bad water flooding over here. We can clear that out by just getting rid of this. This one might work. It'll be slow going, but I think that we'll eventually drain this out. So if you enjoyed the video, go ahead and smash that like button. I really do appreciate it. And with that, we'll see you in the next episode. Thanks for watching.